Good evening, folks. If you are watching after the fact, then please do feel free to skip ahead to qualifying as we get ourselves ready for round number 6 of APPF1 tier number 1. It is sprint round 2 of 2, and it should be an incredibly exciting race. Do not go anywhere. Good evening, folks, and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 1 for tonight's dose of racing action. My name is Sumo, and I shall be your commentator, bringing you all of the on-track action the only way I know how, with as much enthusiasm and excitement as I can muster. It is round number 6 of the Tier 1 season, and it is sprint round 2 of 2. The action will come thick and fast here at this fantastic Interlagos circuit, a track loved by fans and drivers, and the spiritual finale of Formula One, in my humble opinion. And as you can see, it is absolutely pouring it down with rain here at our one-shot qualifying session, so that should add some absolute carnage into the mix. Brazil, known for its changeable conditions, of course. That's what makes it exciting coming to Interlagos. I'm already pumped up already. I'm super tired after a long week, and I'm ready for some racing after F1 testing here. So let us get underway for this qualifying session. Let's ride on board with our championship leader, if I can find him in amongst the mix. Where is Lifebout? He's somewhere in there. I'm trying to get to him. That's Finley. Lifebout is... No, next car. We got him. There's Lifebout. Let's see. Riding on board. It's intermediate conditions for Lifebout as we're going through. Let me see if I can get some tyre details up for everybody, just to see what everybody's on. There we go. Everyone on intermediates. Lifebout lock up through turn 4. Down the hill now. We're going to climb in towards sector 2. Up towards the horseshoe of Ferradura now. And it is Finley, Scorenzi, Lifebout, Roberts, the newbie in the Alpine. They're getting involved too in the top 6 as he drops down. Ghost is there too. Lock up from Lifebout. Sees him almost go for a spin as we get into the twistier part of sector 2. It is still anybody's qualifying session in this short qualifying. Lifebout very shaky as he gets his foot down. Very steady through there for in third gear. Jordan Lancer out of the session. That's Barry Chuckle out too. Sui Ross out of the session as well, as they've crashed, it seems, in this qualifying. Scorenzi now up there. Noise job up there too. Finley as well. Could it be Scorenzi in the Aston Martin coming home in pole position for this sprint race? Lifebout is still at it, but here's Scorenzi in the Aston Martin. We ride on board with him as we go along. Who is it going to be as we cross the line in this qualifying session? Scorenzi, a 17.9 is pole position for the Aston Martin. Pole position for the Challenger in last week's race from round number 5. Go Scorenzi, says Elliot in chat. Absolutely loving that one. What a qualifying session it is for this sprint round. Fantastic stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Let's run you through the grid then for this 12-lap sprint race. It is Scorenzi on pole position, lining up alongside championship leader Lifebout in the Red Bull, only 2/10 behind after a bit of a scrappy lap from the Dutchman. Then there's Nice Job and Finley on row 2, with Ghost and ET8 Chris on row number 3. MX and the newbie Roberts, the Irishman, on row 8. Then it's 9 and 10 for Lawrence and Red Flame Joe, making up your top 10. Then there's MCL RT Chuck, which is Paul Chuckle, as I'm calling him, Mania 93, RJ Blair, Jackalacco, and then there's Barry Chuckle, Jordan Lancer, and Sui Ross, not able to finish. Ghost in the chat says dry sprint, light rain, then to dry, then light rain, then to heavy rain race. Very changeable conditions, but remember folks, it is on approximate, so those conditions could very much change. Changeable conditions then for the race ahead, but we focus now on our 12-lap sprint race. So if you don't know how the sprint round goes, how the sprint formula shakes up, I will explain it to you very briefly now. We have our one-shot qualifying session, which we have just had with our drivers, where they get one chance to set a decent lap time for the sprint race ahead, which is a short race, normally about 25% of race distance, although in this instance it's 25% of 25%, I believe. So it's 12 laps essentially, or 25% or 50%. I know what I'm saying. Anyway, we have 12 lap sprint race around here, and then there is points for the top 8, as it is in Formula 1. 8 points for first, and then -1 point all the way down to position number 8. But there was only 1 point on offer. Scorenzi disqualified from the session already. He didn't move for the formation lap. I think he might have thought we were going to go straight into the race. So cold tyres for the man on pole position. But let's take a look then. What tyres are we looking at for this sprint race? And of course, he's stuck on the grid. Oh no. I sincerely hope he's able to get going. Needs a restart. Oh. I'm not sure. I'll see. Pop it in the chat, Scarenzi, if you already have, in the Discord, and we'll see. I'm stuck on the grid as if I had a formation lap parking. I can't move. Oh dear. I will see. I'm not in control of the lobby. I hope that Ghost has seen that. Oh, Ghost has seen that. He is typing. Let us see. But let's run through the tyres at least. Softs, then mediums for Nice Job and Finley, then softs for Ghost, ET8 Chris, MX, Robert on the softs, then there's Red Flame Joe, Lawrence on softs, MCL mediums, then every other driver on the soft tyres as well, including Poleman, Scarenzi. Yeah, there's the lobby restart. We have called it. There you go. We are going to reset this lobby for the sprint race and the full race in general. So we will be right back, folks. We will talk more race very, very soon as we reset the lobby. Apologies, this does happen from time to time. Codemasters, who are excellent makers of these F1 games, have let us down again. Sometimes, it's more like most of the time, in all honesty. The F1 games letting us down. Let's hope that the F1 2024 isn't as bad. Although, with all the rumours circulating that the release date's going to be sometime in May, I won't hold my breath. In all honesty, it might be just as disappointing as Alpine's livery. Yes, I saw the blue on the testing car today. It's still rubbish. I'm still disappointed. Give me that pink camo we were promised. Gimme. That's all I want. I don't ask for much, Alpine. I will write a letter to Ryan Reynolds and get him to say, hey, put pink camo on the car. I don't know, he's a money guy, he's an investor. That's his job. Or something, I don't know. But how are we all doing on this, well, at least for me, rainy Friday night? Or well, almost rainy. I think there's a storm rolling in over in rainy old England. And I hope we're all keeping well, all excited for this Brazilian race here. Hopefully Ghost can get the grid sorted. Let us see, let's take a little spy into what's going on in the Tier 1 chat, eh? Shock Chrono again? Probably not. He's eating chicken and didn't realise Robert's the new guy. Someone confused. Want to turn off formation atmosphere? Don't copy the weather anyway. Since when does that matter? Just taking a little look through the chat here. A few people arguing about why. Well, I say a few people. It's MX arguing against the lobby reset. Race set to overcast, dry, and then very wet. Exciting. I didn't know you could set the weather like that. That's interesting. Is that something you could do? It must be. I don't know. Ghost does all the lobby hosting and making stuff, so it's none of my expertise. I just turn up and watch the race and chat about it for 45 minutes to an hour. That's my job. I'll do my very best to survive a race in Tier 2. Not through anyone else's fault, but my own, of course. Some drivers calling for formation lap off. Not fully against it, I suppose. We will see. Well, I imagine we're not too far away. From getting ourselves going, just keeping an eye on the Discord chat here, of course, or the paddock, as Ghost likes to call it, so that we can get ourselves ready. Ghost is typing. Will this be the go-ahead, the green light? Will we be going racing? Let us see. Ready up, formation lap is off. Remember setups, and please don't ready up straight away. Says Ghost in the tier 1 chat. Let's go. We're gonna go green, green, green. We're gonna go racing, folks, in just a few minutes time. I'm gonna go quiet for a few moments, but when I come back it will be 5 red lights for the sprint race. Good evening, Marcus. Hello, how are you? Nice to have you here. Alright, that's one cup of tea down for this evening. That should get me through the next few hours of streams. I'm pretty sure there's an SL race tonight. Marcus will let me know, I'm sure. 5 people watching. Hello to the 5 people. Get yourselves involved in the chat, guys. Let's have a conversation going. It gives me a little bit more to talk about than just the racing action on the track. Although, considering where we are this evening for our sprint event, I don't think we'll be in any short supply of racing. Remember back to Tier 2? The Tier 2 finale? What a dramatic race that was. And the Tier 1 finale as well. I mean, Brazil was the finale for the last season of APPF1. All through. 100% Japan racing here, so you're not racing, Marcus. That's a shame. I'm sure you'll be able to watch along. That'll be fun. 100% Japan. Gosh, that sounds rough. Although I do like Japan. It is a favourite of mine. Ever since I got my wheel, Japan has been one of those circuits that just feels great to drive. Much like Saudi in a way. They're very similar in some cases. Lots of corners that come at you. Nice flow though. To it, it's really easy to get dialed in on tracks like that. It's great. You know, I did a commentary race. Well, I'd say commentary. I did a broadcast yesterday over with a group known as the TSRC in some GT3 cars. It was their 5th round of 6. They were at Mount Panorama, Bathurst in Australia. But anyway, I digress. 3, 4, 5 red lights for this sprint race. And we are underway and racing. It looks like a decent start from Scorenzi. Lifeboat, is he going to be able to cover him off? No. The Aston Martin's got him covered as we go in towards the turn 1 and down the hill through the centre. S is Finley battling away with nice job. It's 2x2 in the background as we go. ET8 Chris and Ghost in his MX and the new guy Roberts in the Alpine. But it's a great start for Scorenzi. Lifeboat though, he's going to go all the way around the outside, try and get a ray through him in towards turn 4. Isn't able to do so, tries to go underneath him as well, can't do that. Let's see who's got a decent start. It's Barry Chuckle with a decent start all the way from P16 up to P14 already, and he's made up another place in P13. But the leaders so far, no change here. But then there's Finley and ETA Chris battling her through as Finley is trying to keep Chris behind, but nice job, and Chris are going to go side by side as well. Lots going on already. Let's turn you off. That's what I want off. That's better. There we go. Taking a look at the tyres then as well. Nice job on Robert. The only ones on the mediums. Everybody else opting for the soft tyre. We'll have to see what these soft tyres are capable of in this sprint race for the next 12 laps or so. Will they make it? Probably. They won't feel very great toward the end, but Finley all over the back of Lifeboat. These two, the championship leaders. We'll take a look over the standings when we can in between the two races. That's the new guy down. That's Roberts. What's happened to him? It looks like he's spun at turn number 1. That is a huge shame for him, but it is battle resumed from last week. It is Scorenzi, Lifeboat and Finley fighting, and Scorenzi is doing a marvellous job of leading this race for the time being. There's a huge train of cars in the background as well. Let's see what else is going on. MCL, Red Flame Joe, Lawrence, all very close together. 2 Tier 2 drivers tangling it with Red Flame Joe, a Tier 1 and elite driver there as well, doing a great job for Alfa Romeo. His teammate a few places up in P6, chasing after nice job and the top 4. Let's see Jordan Lancer and Barry Chuckle going side by side, getting wheel to wheel racing action all over the place. Looks like Jordan Lancer has backed out of that one and he's going to tuck back in and get his head refocused. Let's see what else is happening further up the grid. Lifeboat chasing down the Aston Martin of Scorenzi, fastest car on the track as well. Scorenzi though planting that Aston Martin in the best of places in the middle of the track, covering off Lifeboat. Softs will be fine, says Marcus. Lifeboat for the win also. Let us see. This race will also determine the grid for the main race in a few minutes time, but Lifeboat around the outside. He had the speed to do it. Scorenzi has to settle in. Finley is there too. Looks like ET8 Chris is back in the mix too. He has got his hardware issues sorted, it seems, and is back here racing. I wonder what he did to fix that. Perhaps new pedals, perhaps a switch to his clutch pedal. We'll have to see. We'll ask him if he's on the podium come the time for the interviews. But let us see. The gap's so close. Everybody in this huge train. The only driver not part of this is Robert there on the Alpine. Not doing so great, but Lifeboat putting in the lap times. He's opening up that gap. It's about 6 tenths, but Scorenzi, he'll have the DRS. He'll have the slipstream. He'll be able to fight him back. And here he goes. He's closing at a rate of knots. Down the inside he goes. And down the inside of turn 1, Scorenzi, he's back into the lead of the race once again. And this could be the sight. This could be what we see throughout the rest of this race. We've got another 8 laps to go, and Lifebound was so close to the back of the Aston Martin there as they race on down towards turn 4, and they're switching places once again. Is Finley getting involved in this too? Not quite. He's just tucking in, waiting for something to happen, waiting for his opportunity at the front of this race to make an impact. ET8 Chris is lurking in the background too. He'll have to worry about Nice Job and Goes to are just behind. MX is in the mix as well, but he's a little bit further back from his teammate. Not where he would like to be, in all honesty. Marcus supporting Chuck and Chuckle. I've known them for years. Go on, boys. Yes, Paul and Barry Chuckle, as I'm calling them on this stream. Chuck being Paul and Barry being Chuckle. Just because I think it's funny, in all honesty. I even threw in a to me to you joke last stream at their debut here in Tier 1. And to me to you joke even, and I may do the same thing again, but here comes the Scorenzi once again down the inside. Same move as he did before. That's a lovely helmet on Scorenzi. That's an instant 10 out of 10 from me, in all honesty. I love that. That's a great helmet. But anyway, Scorenzi, Marcus calls him much worse. It says in the chat, obviously known them for a long time. As they go through, Scorenzi able to defend his position though this time, and there's not a lot of laps in this sprint race. 12 laps. The laps will tick away. This race will run away from us more or less as we go through. JBS Steve or Mania just overtaken by Robert, the new driver here in Tier 1 on his debut in the sprint race. Not a great start for him, but he'll have the main race to claw something back perhaps, and he's climbing back up. He's after the next Williams of Sri Ross, and then he's got 2 seconds to close to the rest of the pack, which actually consists of MCL. It's all aboard the MCL train here in that fight for P9, but this is the fight for the lead. Scorenzi, it's a 3/10 gap to him and Lifebound. I don't think that'll be enough in the slightest to defend from Lifebound. Let's see. Scorenzi sticks to the racing line, doesn't go defensive. Finley wants to get involved too, but he's got nowhere really to go. He tries to follow Lifebound through, but Scorenzi slips down the inside. ETA Chris under pressure now from Nice Job in the AlphaTauri. Ghost is lurking in the background too. He'll be licking his lips at this opportunity. It's 3 wide as they go down, and 2 wide ahead of them as well. Ghost backs out of the move, and it's 2 by 2. They go Finley and Scorenzi side by side. Finley holds it around the outside. The McLaren is a car off the circuit as well. There's all sorts going on here in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Nice Job there. It's a crash, and that's the safety car. Wow, it all exploded for a good moment there. But Nice Job. His race, the sprint race, ends in tears. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'll try and have a look back on the replay for you so I can get some sort of analyses. Let's see. Right, I will go back a few minutes and then I will slow it down while the safety car goes off. So let's go to 7.5. Let's go to 0.5 here. So I find it easier to try and tell what's happening rather than at full speed. Right, let's see. So there's turn 3. Nice job, ET8 Chris, side by side. Ghost tucks it down the inside, of course. I wish you could see this. There's looks like Lifebound's coming in. A few other drivers opting to come in for some new soft tyres as well. That's going to be interesting. I'm not sure how wise that decision is with how few laps there's going to be. But let's have a look then. So what I can see, Nice Job's going side by side with ET8 Chris. Ghost's there too. Then Nice Job and Ghost coming through. Is there a moment of contact, or has the camera changed too soon? Ah, you can see Nice Job spinning there. I think there might have been some contact with Ghost. Oh dear. I can't tell, but from what I can see, the only things that would have caused that crash, in my opinion, was contact with Ghost, or he dropped it by himself. But with the position of the two cars, I don't think it could have been contact with Ghost without Ghost having some sort of damage. So if anybody else got a better view of that, maybe I could try and look on Ghost's stream. Or at least go to Ghost Stream and see what's happening. Maybe drop a comment on there and see what he says. I'm not sure. And I won't be able to go back on Twitch either, so we'll have to wait and see of what happened now. My best analysis, though, is that they came, nice job, and Ghost came together. But let's see, then you can see who has pitted then. Lifebout, Scarenzi, Red Flame Joe, ETA Chris, Jordan, Lancer, Jacka, Lacko, Sweeros, Robert, and Mania have all pitted for a new set of soft tyres. Every single driver on soft tyres. 7-lap-old soft tyres for the top 8 now. This puts Finley and MX in P1 and P3. This puts Ghost in P2. Ghost goes well here at Brazil as well. He loves the race at Brazil. Does Mr. Ghost. So he'll be looking very much for that win and that pole position as we go through. But I'm not sure what the best call would have been here. The top Lifebout, Scarenzi, everybody who pitted, they've sacrificed track position for fresh tyres. Now I can tell you that we'll go racing on this lap. There's no reason why we wouldn't. So then that leaves us lap 9, lap 10, 11 and 12. That's 4 laps of racing left. Is 4 laps enough for Lifebout, Scarenzi, Red Flame Joe, ETA Chris, all these drivers who pitted to make up enough of an advantage over on those that didn't? I'm not sure. I don't think Lifebout's going to be able to snatch back a win in this one, especially if the fighting is as fierce as it was on those opening laps. But we'll find out as Finley is going to be the driver to set us off the safety cars into the pit lane so he can go realistically from now up into the line. When is he going to go? Looks like he's leaving it very, very late in the McLaren. Late on the inside he goes. He's waiting. Ghost is going to try and suss him out if he can. They're almost side by side, and off he goes. Finley's dropped it, put his foot down. Ghost has seen it coming too. Ghost is looking to the inside. No move for my co-commentator and co-podcast host as well. He has not got a move for Finley, and if anything he unsettled the car going through, and he's going to become vulnerable now to MX in the background as well. That's Scarenzi. He's jumped Lifebout at the start of this race once again, and it's going to look to the inside of the Mercedes of MCL. No way through. Lifebout tries to go around the outside of him. They're side by side as they go through. There's an absolute jostler car. Scarenzi's been swallowed up. Oh, it's a huge crash. Oh, that's Red Flame Joe and MCL. It's a virtual safety car. That was a huge moment. Can I see what happened? There they are. MCL. It's really hard to tell. Get him a replays back because the safety car's still out. Looks like the Mercedes just tags the Alfa Romeo, drags him into the wall. I don't know how Red Flame Joe's still in this race, personally. But there'll be some moments to look at in the steward's room, so I'll be having a busy night, it seems. Me and Kevin O'Reilly, the new steward of Tier 1. Busy, 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 but this helps. This helps those that didn't pit. And Scarenzi, what happened to him? He got absolutely swallowed up. Looks like he got damaged too. That's a huge shame for him. The man who put on pole position now way down the order where he definitely does not deserve to be. And this is a full course safety car, in fact. So he'll close back up on the grid. But we're going to get going racing in a few moments' time. We have to have 2 more laps. Lap 11 and 12 will be those 2 laps. So we're going to get racing once that safety car crosses that sector 3 line. Or at least gets to, I mean, Junsao, maybe just out of Junsao, just after the detection point there in Sector 3. But Scarenzi should catch back up. But this is music to the ears of those in the top 8 right now. Lifebout will get himself a point if all was to finish as it is. But Finley, Ghost, MX, they're quids in for this one. There's no way those drivers who pitted are going. Chuckle Bros in 5th and 6th. They are. This is a great second race for those two. They worked incredibly well in Miami. Did Paul and Barry Chuckle. Let us see. Into the pits. Goes Burnt Mylander in the safety car. Will Ghost be caught out once again? Let's ride on board with the 6-time sprint champion. He is ready and raring to go. Look at him. He's doing a Max Verstappen, getting all into Finley. But here we go once again. Not caught out. Here's Ghost this time, and he's looking to the inside once more. Is he going to make that same mistake? No. Nice and smooth through turn 1. Nice and easy he goes. Let's see what else is going on. Robert getting his elbows out, fighting with ET8 Chris. RJ Blair's under threat. Lifebound's coming at him, and they're going to go 3, almost 4 wide as they go towards turn 4. This is unbelievable racing between them. The two Red Bulls trying to fight their way back into the points. Get as high up the grid as possible. This has incredible championship implications at the moment. Then there's Paul Chuckle down the inside. He goes with Lawrence, who's way up there in P4 as well. We missed him, and there goes Lifebound down the inside. He is charging his way through the grid. He gets his way past one Haas. Can he get his way past the other? All the way around the outside he does. That's an excellent move from the Dutchman. He sees those two McLarens in 1 and 3, and he is charging right after them. That charging ball chasing after his championship rivals. He's looking to the inside of Lawrence. Down as a yellow flag. That's RJ Blair round in the Aston Martin. We have got one more lap of racing to go. It's Finley leading the way from Ghost and MX Lawrence and Lifebound, who's charging his way back up the grid. This is fantastic racing, and we've only got one more lap of it in this sprint race. What have we got to offer? Let's see. Lifebound getting close to the back, side by side even, perhaps. No, not quite. It's mate Lawrence and MX side by side, and Lawrence into P3 now. Then it's Lifebound around the outside of the German. Side by side they go. Lifebound nowhere to go. MX is going to squeeze him all the way. No ERS on the McLaren too. Side by side these two rival teams go, and it is Lifebound in towards P4. What a fantastic move from the Dutchman, and now he's going to go after Lawrence too, inside of Ferragio, and they come together as they go through, and Lawrence will feel that Lifebound caused that incident, and perhaps that might be something he gets reported for or some such, who knows. Wow, stunned. Lifebound's got a penalty too. 3 seconds, that's going to plummet him down the order, and it's not going to matter. I mean, there's one more proper corner. We've gone through Junsao now. Finley is going to be your man on pole position if he can keep that car on the road for just one little kink in the straight. Comes across the line now. It's Finley, the winner of the sprint race, lining up alongside Ghost and Lawrence. Back into P3 MX. Then Lifebound Chris, the two Haas cars, round off the points finishers. Then there's Mania, Scorenzi, Jordan Lancer, Jackalacco, Sweet Ross, RJ Blair, and Red Flame Joe, all finishing the race. What a sprint race that was. Oh my word, I'm out of breath. Barry Chuckle, driver of the day. On that occasion, I'm not sure calling it fast, but let's see then. It is Finley then who is going to be lining up on pole position for the feature race, and your winner of the sprint race here, taking home the 8 points. Then there's Ghost in P2 and lining up alongside Finley on the front row. Then we have Lawrence and MX. Then there's Lifebound, ET8 Chris, RTG Chuck and RTG Chuckle, or Paul and Barry respectively, rounding off the points finishers and the top 8. Then we have Mania and Scorenzi rounding off your top 10. Then there's Jordan Lancer, Jackalacco, Sweet Ross, Red Flame Joe, RJ Blair, Robert, MCL, and Nice Job rounding off the rest of the grid. I think Nice Job came back for the feature race, so he is back in, hopefully. So we'll have 18 cars on the grid for sure. Well, at least I hope. But that is it. That's your sprint race. And we've got the feature race to go next. And I don't know, maybe Lifebound, I think Lawrence squeezed him in towards Ferragio. There may be an unjust penalty, but it's not going to do too much. At least for the qualifying positions. But it will perhaps affect the points if Lifebound gets himself back into P3. And then he'll come home with 6 points rather than the, I think, 4 that he got for 5th. I think. Am I right? 4, 3, 2. Yeah, that makes sense. I can't maths. It's been a long day. Either way, there'll definitely be some stewarding reports to be had. Let's take a little look at the driver standings then going into this round quickly. I'll try to look in the paddock as well if I can. But Lifeboat and Finley come into this round with a 9-point gap between them. Lifeboat's 10 seconds of penalties after the Miami race dropped him down to P4 and took him off that podium place. Promoted Finley, of course, onto the podium, Ghost into P2. And the winner, Ghost into the win, in fact, and Finley into P2. And that was how they went through in that race. And then Ghost is 27 points behind Lifeboat there, so he's currently sat best of the rest. ET8 Chris a good 38 points back. He lost out, but we'll go through the standings when we can. But we've got 5 more red lights for the second race this evening. It is Finley on pole position, starting off alongside Ghost. Has Ghost got the better of starts? No. We'll try and look over the tyres when we can, but it's action with no formation lap as we go. Ghost is under threat from Lawrence already, side by side. Lawrence squeezed onto the curb there as they go through the centre S's. But a relatively clean start from everybody on the grid as we get going. The 2 Red Bulls trying to fight their way back up the grid and in towards the front. And Lifeboat already making a place up on Lawrence. Makes short work of the AlphaTauri, and ETA Chris will look to do the same. No telemetry for this. I want all my details, though. I want tyres there. Oh, God, I hate not having a formation up. I can't get a good feel for what's going to happen, but mixed strategies, as you can see. Hard to Finley, Ghost, MX, Jacko, MCL, Red Flame. Then there's softs for Lifeboat, who's already up ahead of Ghost. Then ETA Chris on softs, then Chuck on softs, Robert on softs as well. Everybody else on the mediums. So a big mix here. Remember, we've got rain perhaps coming in the latter stages of this race. So perhaps those on the hard tyres, they're going to have it right, perhaps. Those on the softs, they'll have to stop sooner. Those on the mediums, they may have to stop. They may make it to when the rain comes. Who knows? But the top 4 have already split off. Lifeboat and ETA Chris have made short work of the drivers ahead of them. And it is game on. It's Lifeboat and Finley fighting once again. With Lifeboat using those soft tyres to full effect back into the lead of this race. Finley did everything he could to try and defend that, but on those hard tyres, it's going to be a very, very hard ask from the McLaren driver. Scorenzi, what a start from him. Let's see, positions gained. Actually, he's gained no positions. I tell a lie, he made up places back in, but he's there in 10th. Should be up in that top fight. Unable to. ETA Chris is now past Finley as well. He got the job done coming up the hill there toward the end of Sector 2. Relatively easy. Let's see, back onto the stream. We can see all the comments now. 6 of you watching. Hello to the 6 people. What an electric start we've had to this race. Not as electric perhaps as the sprint, but lots of drivers on different compounds of tyres. The Hasses, more importantly, they're on a split strategy. They're going to be doing something a bit different. Scorenzi and MX swapping places. Scorenzi gets back up. He'll be a man on a mission in that Aston Martin. He wants to get back up to the top. And I'm sure with the pace that he's had of late, the form he's had of late, he'll be able to do that. He can see all of the cars he needs to pass ahead of him. And he can see those he needs to fight with. Lifeboat, ETA Chris, Finley. Finley on the back foot at the moment. We're 3 laps into this 36-lap race with rain on the way too. Scorenzi getting close to the back of MX, who's got his way back ahead of the Aston Martin. He's going to make life difficult for Scorenzi, it seems, in the middle of the pack. Jordan Lancer on the attack, going after Paul Chuckle there in the Haas. He's got rid of one Haas car. Now he wants to get rid of the next in the Alpine. Making his way up, and very quick driver, Jordan Lancer. I've seen him do some fantastic things behind the wheel of a race car, and he's looking to be set to do even more as he's setting that Haas up in his sights, looking to make a move perhaps. Very little ERS left on that car though, really using a lot of it right at the start of the race, and ETA Chris is getting close to his teammate. He's actually just set the fastest lap, not going to go on the attack. But will he go on the attack down here? Who knows? Meanwhile, MX, Scorenzi, they were side by side down for the centre S's. MX has fended off the McLaren Lifeboat. I need to get Chris switch. Not too much of a fight there. This is the fight I'm interested in. No, the two Aston Martins looking to make a pass on MX. RJ went to the inside, tried to follow his teammate through, was unable to do so. Has to settle behind the McLaren. They're going to try and mug MX if they can. And RJ looks around the outside once again. MX plants it on the inside of the Ferragura and says, no way you're coming through, mate, and keeps him behind him. Sui Ross interested, though, in making a pass on the Aston Martin. Meanwhile, in his Williams car, all over the back of him he is and looks to the inside, doesn't go for the move. Sensible not to dive down the inside through there. Easy for a mistake. He'd do a lovely Lewis Hamilton there. Lewis Hamilton recreation. Remember way back, 2020. Alex Albon remembers. Oh, yes, he does. Lifeboat, 88 Chris, standard pass between them. We saw him do this all season long when they were Mercedes drivers. Meanwhile, Jacko, MCL swapping places again. Bit of a rivalry formed between those two since the last Tier 2 race, but meanwhile, ahead of them, this is Sui Ross. Nice job, Red Flame Joe, all going at it. They're going to go 3 wide down towards turn number 4. Is it going to end in tears? No, they all tuck back in one by one. And it's Nice Job who gets ahead of both of them and back into P12. But as I was saying, MCL, Jackalacco, a little bit of beef between those two after the Tier 2 race. MCL felt that Jacko didn't quite work with him. Jacko felt that he didn't have to work with him. They're title rivals, of course. And rightly so, in all honesty. But at least they're keeping it clean for the time being on the racetrack, where MCL gets the upper hand on the Scotsman for the time being. Let us see. The top 3 have checked out. Well, I say checked out. I mean, Lawrence is only 1.4 behind, but he's got Ghost and he's got Paul Chuckle and a big train of cars behind him on this fight for P4. And there goes Ghost in towards P4, into the head of this train. Lawrence looks to go back underneath him, unable to do so. He's going to have the DRS, in fact, as a exit down towards turn 4. A better exit, better grip from Lawrence, and gets the job done. Keeping P4, the defending Tier 2 champion, doing his job out there on the racetrack and getting himself in the mix in the top 4. And what this is doing is denying Ghost access to the top 3, access to the podium, where he would so want to be for the podium predictions championship. Over on the APPF1 podcast. If you've not checked out those first 2 episodes, they're over on Spotify. Search the APPF1 podcast. Take a listen. We discuss the APPF1 league and how each of the divisions are getting on. And we also take a look at what's going on in the world of Formula 1 as well. And with testing just wrapping up as well, the next podcast will definitely have our thoughts on testing. That's a nice job. Gets ahead of MX, who's languishing a little bit in this race, it seems. He's not quite making the pace up, but he is on those hard tyres, so he'll come back later in the race. But remember, we have rain around the corner. Anything could happen. Finley, in the meantime, keeping with Lifeboat and ET8 Chris, those soft tyres starting to drop off now, I think. And Finley's done a great job staying with them, and it's a testament to the McLaren driver's pace, I think. Hard tyres against softs, he's been able to stick with them, even though they both got past him in short succession, you know? Or quick succession, I should say. And it's interesting. We'll have to see. As far as I'm aware, though, there is rain imminent. When that rain will come is anyone's guess. But so far, it is sunshine here in Interlagos. And Ghost chasing down Lawrence once more. Jordan Lancer getting his way past Paul Chuckle in the Haas in the meantime. And fighting through Scarenzi on the back of the 2 Haas cars now too. He's got a point to prove after that sprint race, but here comes Ghost. Down the inside goes the 6-time sprint champion on the Tier 2 champion. And the move is done for the Alfa Romeo. Now he can start focusing on closing up that gap. And he'll be waiting to see if those top three start fighting. This is the championship fight right here. And MX, he needs to get a move on. Needs to get himself up there. Otherwise, Lifeboat 88 Chris, they'll be laughing. They'll run away with this Constructors' Championship like they did last year. Well, I say last year. Well, I mean, yes, it was last year, but last season. Which wasn't a year ago, but was. Anyway, racing. We're talking about racing. Ghost is closing that gap, look. He said he was quick around here. He said he's gone well around here in the past. Scorenzi getting the job done. He gets past Barry Chuckle. Barry Chuckle's going to come back at him though, perhaps. Looks around the outside, doesn't quite go for it, just settles in behind the Aston Martin. Knows he'll have another chance. Sweet Ross in the pits. In the meantime, that's an early stop. Has he got damage on that Williams? Are they waiting for a wing change? They are. You can see the mechanic holding the front wing there. They're going to change that front wing over. And it's a new front wing for Sweet Ross and a set of hard tyres fairly early on in this race. Meanwhile, gap is sort of teetering. Ghost is somewhat closing in on the top three here. But the top three, they're not fighting really. They're all sitting close within each other. They don't need to trip over each other all too much. They're on different strategies as well. That's the thing. If the rain is coming, which it doesn't look like it is for the time being, there's MX pass, nice job once again, and RJ Blair now going to take a look around the outside of the Alpha Tauri driver. They squeeze, that's RTG Chuck into the pits. Paul Chuckle opting for an early stop. He did start on those softs though. He's one of the first soft runners in, and Robert comes in too as RJ Blair. Nice move. Oh, nice job. Gets ahead of him, and Finley, meanwhile, is on the attack. He's gone for Lifeboat. He's after Chris now too. Can he get both Red Bulls in the space of one corner? Let's see. He has. He's going to close them off through Ferradura and those soft tyres, I think, reaching the end of their life. And Finley back into the lead. His patience has paid off. It's paid dividends in this crucial time. And he's going to continue to lead this race, I think, for a good few more laps. He'll go likely to about lap 18, I'd have said, on those hard tyres. What will Chris and Lifebout do? Is 26 laps on hard tyres too much to ask? And if they're not careful, Ghost might go after them as well. They're not in. They're staying out. And if they fight this too, then Ghost will be after them as well. What a race we've got on our hands here, folks. Jordan Lance, only driver with a time penalty thus far. 3 seconds on the Alpine. The reserve driver. I think he's a reserve at least. Let's see, Red Flame Joe on the move in the meantime. Getting himself back into this race after that crash in the sprint race. He's in P10. Doing a good job for the Alfa Romeo team. Into the top 10 now. He'll be chasing after MX and the cars ahead of him. Lots of action to focus on. Lots of battles in amongst the pack. And I don't think it's quite over between Red Flame Joe and Nice Job. Nice Job staying very close to the back of that number 5 car. Not able to make any moves just yet. Scorenzi, meanwhile, P7, making steady progress. He's got Lawrence next, the Tier 2 champion. Can he make short work of him? Let's see. He's closing in. He's got the speed, but unable to do it without the use of that draft there as well. Just stays behind. Meanwhile, MX past Barry Chuckle. Nice job past Red Flame Joe. All into turn 1. They'll have another go at their respective rivals. Let's see. Barry Chuckle. Can he get the move done? Has he got the speed down the straight? Not quite. How about Red Flame Joe? Is he able to get back past Nice Job? No. Just has to tuck in behind Robert past Mania, or JB as he was formerly known. As he's coming for his stop now. Onto hard tyres goes the Williams. Ghost not really closing in. I don't think he's quite got the pace to catch back up to those top three. He's sort of opening and closing it, but the three of them, the issue is they've got DRS and they're in this little train and they're all pulling each other along and giving each other that tow to get them through. Scarenzi on the attack once more. Let's see, will he get past Lawrence? I can tell you that Jordan Lancer will get past Ghost though, as I think there was contact made between Lawrence and Scarenzi there. I don't know, it looked like it on the from the off-board shot. Maybe I'm wrong. No visible damage on either of the cars there. Maybe there was a little bit of contact, I'm not sure. ETA Chris close to the back of of Finley, I should say. No inroads yet. Ghost though, Jordan Lancer's got ahead of him. Not ideal for the Alfa Romeo driver. He'll be trying to get back at him if he can. Such a mix of strategies here, and it's just, I wonder when these two are coming in for their stop. 12 lap old soft tyres. No contact for Scarenzi. Okay, it just looked like it on that off-board. Maybe a little squirmy or just not seeing it. Thank you, Ellie, in the chat. Can confirm no contact. Meanwhile, Lawrence on the back of Ghost now, looking to get after him. RTG Chuckle in the meantime. Barry Chuckle gets ahead of the McLaren of MX. There's a fight going on here for P8. Barry Chuckle, MX, nice job, Red Flame Joe. Then Lifebout and ETA Chris swap places. Perhaps Lifebout feels he can get after Finley, go on the attack. McLaren fending off the two Red Bulls for the time being, but those soft tyres have got to be almost done. They've got to be getting toward the end of their life. I think they're trying to stretch them out to lap 16. Or as far as they can, so that they can go onto the hard tyres to the end. I'm not sure what the word is from the track. I don't know what the weather's doing. It doesn't look like it's becoming overcast. And if we could drive right on board with Jordan Lancer for a little while. Soft tyre lifespan is 13 laps or less. Yeah, see, they've definitely around the end. And look, you can see they must be fried, exactly. But I don't know, it all depends on the driver's feel, their tyre wear as well. But you can see Finley, barely any ERS on the car. He's used a lot to keep up with him by the looks of things. It's Ghost back down the inside, and that's Scarenzi into the pit lane now. So opting to go in for probably some hard tyres on the Aston Martin. It is hard all the way to the end. Scarenzi will take those most likely. But, these two would definitely go onto the hard tyres there. But Finley will have the advantage. He'll have those mediums. Yeah, they've got to be fried. Got to be. It's interesting stuff. Let's see, Red Flame Joe in the meantime. Through Ferradura he goes. Car number 5 up the inside of Nice Job. Gets ahead of him and gets himself into P9. Doing a great job. It's Red Flame Joe there. AlphaTauri driver pairing. Very strong, of course. He's got the 6-time sprint champion. He's won Elite once. I think he's won Tier 1 a couple of times. Perhaps once. He's got a F2 championship to his name, maybe, I think, as well. A very well decorated driver, and in comes ET8 Chris. The Red Bull driver's finally coming in. It's mediums. They're going to go 20 laps on the mediums then. And I'm almost certain this rain isn't going to turn up. I don't think this rain is going to be a factor in this race. What will be, though, is Ghost making a pass on Jordan Lancer once again. These two have been chopping and changing places. Just not what Ghost would want. He wants to try and fight after those podium runners. But instead, he's fighting with Lawrence and Jordan Lancer here for P4. He's P3 right now, but it'll effectively be P4 once the pit stops have all worked themselves out. That's where's ET8 Chris? He's P14. He's just coming up towards Ferradura now. And yeah, Ghost will definitely come out behind when he does come in. It's Lifeboat next to box. Let's see, through Junsao, the Red Bull goes. Back up the hill, the last proper corner, Junsao, on this Interlagos circuit. Is that Red Bull peeling into the pit lane? He's shaping up to, yeah, in he goes. Slows it down. No speeding pit time penalties. And we'll see, where is he going to come out in relation to his teammate? Let's see, ETA Chris right there. MX meanwhile past Barry Chuckle. In the meantime, we're watching Lifebout though in the pits. There he is. ETA Chris just crossing the start finish line now. Let's see, what is the gap? You can see Lifebout streaking down the pit lane there. They're going to be racing on exit. The two teammates as they go. You can see Lifebout on the left hand side. Now the right hand side of your screen is going to be ETA Chris, maybe. They're side by side. ETA Chris just ekes out of ahead of his teammate there. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. That's Sri Ross round. No need for a safety car there. But Finley now, he's got to start putting in the laps. He's been undercut by ETA Chris and Lifebout, or is it threat of an undercut by ETA Chris and Lifebout? But the main caveat for him there, the main thing that will play into this, is that Chris and Lifebout, they've got to fight their way through traffic, and a fair bit of it too. Ghost is into the pits. There's another yellow flag and a virtual safety car. This is the perfect time for some drivers to come in for their pit stops. Ghost, a perfectly timed... No, he didn't stop. He spun. He spun. I thought he came in for a stop. Ghost brought out the VSC. Oh no. There's a bit of egg on the face for Ghost. And what this has done has allowed the likes of, well, everybody but Finley to come in for a free stop. Ghost has inadvertently created absolute chaos for this strategy. Softs to the end. What are you doing, Ghost? I mean, if he thinks he can make it work, I mean, if maybe he thinks the rain's coming. I don't see it personally right now. Finley could come in here, you know, if that virtual stays out for long enough, but there's always the risk it doesn't. You can never tell with a virtual safety car. They counting on rain, yeah, that's what I'm... Well, I mean, the rain says it's coming, but look at how clear those skies are right now. Oftentimes, when the game says it's going to rain toward the end of the race, it says, ETA Chris with a drive-through! Oh, no! ETA Chris has dropped the ball, been caught speeding under the safety car, under the virtual safety car, and let's see. 3-second time out for Jordan Lawrence and RJ, but drive-through for Chris. Is he going to serve it right now? Probably best to peel off the band-aid and all that. In he comes. Serve his drive-through. Don't lose it in the pit lane, Chris. Don't let this evening go from bad to worse. This Ghost. Big spin from Ghost. Big uncharacteristic mistake from Ghost. Gave it a little too much through Junsao. Was nice job on MX going side by side. Down the inside goes the AlphaTauri into turn 4. MX covers him off though, breaks later. Just slings it around the outside with confidence and keeps that place. This promotes RTG Chuck, Paul Chuckle into P2 right now. Lifebout those all over the back of him. But, I don't know, I'll have to stop. I guess they are counting on rain, but that rain sometimes doesn't come when it says it's coming at the end of the race. Sometimes it ends up coming after the race has finished, or in like the last 2 laps when it's not actually worth coming in for a stop. And, you know, riding on board, it doesn't look all that cloudy as Lifebout's found a way past the Haas car here. It looks clear skies to me, clear blue skies as Lawrence and Jordan Lance are fighting. They both got past Paul Chuckle, but they've now passed one another. Lawrence into P3, doing a great job on the soft tyres. And yeah, those on the softs counting on the rain, but I don't know if it's going to come. I haven't got access to that information as a commentator. I don't know what the weather's doing. I don't know whether Mark's telling them rain's coming in 10 minutes. Lifebout 3-second time penalty now. Pushing hard, and it's costing him. Will Finley try and go as long as he can on those hard tyres. If he comes into the pits, I'd expect him to be somewhere around here. P6 to P8. Roughly. As it looked like one of the Williams have spun around. Easy to do at various areas on this Brazil circuit. As MX and Red Flame Joe are fighting it out now. Down towards Junsao they go. Or up towards Junsao, I should say, as they climb the hill back up toward the start-finish line. And it's back into P9 for MX, but here comes Red Flame Joe, Scorenzi and Robert going side by side. A decent debut in the feature race for Robert, I must say. A big recovery, and Lifebout and Lawrence are going toe-to-toe with one another. Lawrence really got some pace on those soft compound tyres, really going at it. And now that he's got the racing line on and not a lot of battery left in either three of these cars as they're battling on. But what this is going to do, Finley will want them to battle even more and slow each other up here as it will open up that gap. Lots of fighting going on. This has been a fantastic race to watch. Look at the fight for P6 there. Scorenzi, Chuckle, Robert, Red Flame, nice job. MX, all tussling over P6. And there's a fight for the two remaining places on the podium, although effectively the lead of the race, as Finley is yet to come in. He's still out on circuit. Rain's got to be coming. These drivers know something I don't. Rain's got to be on the way. But remember, it's approximate weather. It's not always accurate. And there's another fight brewing here. Red Flame, Chuck, and nice job. There's Robert too being passed. Nice job getting past two cars there. All before the first corner of the track. That was a great move from the Alpha Tauri. Meanwhile, MCL round the outside of RJ Blair. Gets the job done in the Mercedes. And is into P12. Then there's Ghost getting past Jacko. ET8 Chris is round. Oh no, he's made a mistake. He's pushed too hard, made an error. And it's gone even further down. The two Haas cars swapping places. The Chuckle brothers performing a bit of to me to you, swapping places through the horseshoe. RJ Blair ahead of MCL once again. These two having a nice fight as they go. They're adding more cars to this train of cars. Is fight for P5 now. My word. John Lancer through. Finley finally into the pits. What's he doing? What tyre is he going on? Look at that sky. I don't know. I don't believe this rain's coming. I don't believe it. I'm an non-believer of the rain. Look at those clear blue skies. We're on lap 23 of 36. Where is Finley going to come out? Is it going to be behind his teammate? He is going to be racing him as he goes out of the pits here. Will MX let Finley by? I think he will. He's not gone for it, or perhaps he just didn't have the speed to do so. But Finley's got a lot of work to do, a lot of cars to navigate. But what's going to play into his hands here? Is it the gap? Is it that all too big? It's about 4 seconds between Barry Chuckle here and Jordan Lancer, which is the lead trio. Chuck and Red Flame Joe swapping places now, and Finley's got a lot of cars to navigate. A lot of cars to get past, and it's Paul Chuckle, which will be the first one. Let's see. This is a real test. This will be a champion's drive if he can do it. Reminds me somewhat of one of my favourite drivers in APPF1. I don't have favourites as a commentator. I try not to, but Pommy Alex has a place in my heart. The plucky Australian that could. What a tier 2 season that was. Season 5, Mahiti and Pommy Alex, I can't speak at the moment, were a formidable pairing. As Jackalacco into the pits. 5 seconds for speeding. I don't think Jacko believes this rain's coming, you know. As nice job. Gets his way past. Barry Chuckle. Looks like Scorenzi got his way past too. I think, personally here, Scorenzi, Lifebout, Jordan are in the best seats right now. Hell, Scorenzi in the best seat right now. If he can close in on this top 3, keep it clean. Could be a win on the cards here. Scarenzi, although he's got 4.2 seconds to make up. So there's a lot going on. And whether you believe the rain's coming or not, as MX and Finley have swapped places, what's happened there? Did Finley make a mistake? It looks like it. Looks like an error from Finley, pushing too hard. Yeah, I don't believe in this rain. Does this sky to you scream rain impending? I don't think so. But we'll see. Things change quickly in this F1 game. Scarenzi got it all to do. Nice jobs back ahead of him. Those soft runners will start to fall off. We've seen it about lap 13. Reliably informed by Ellie there in the chat. Our very own Bernie Collins or Ted Kravitz, whichever you want to call it, as Finley back past MX now, giving us information that we otherwise wouldn't have. Talking on the Discord about some of my favourite pundits in Skyrod, and Bernie Collins is definitely one as Finley dives down the inside of Red Flame Joe, gets his way into P6. An opportunistic move. Hello to the 7 people watching. It has been an absolutely crazy race. Finley, 3-second time penalty now. Playing into the hands of Scarenzi here, who I think might be a big winner if they can close up on these top drivers. But Lifebout has put in some work to keep Lance at bay, but there's no ERS left, and it's actually quite hard to recover ERS as Jackalacco's making moves toward the back. Paul Chuckle ahead of Robert now in the Alpine. These two will have to come in for sure. We're on lap 26 of 36, about 10 laps to go, not including the lap that we're currently on. There's a yellow flag. That's Barry Chuckle round. Is he in the barrier? He's retired on track. That could bring out a safety car, and that could cause some chaos. Let's see. If there's one thing you're not allowed to do in APPF1, it's retire on the track. That could lead to a penalty for RTG Chuckle. If you're going to retire from the race, you've got to do it in the pit lane. No safety car, thankfully. It hasn't caused chaos. He might just get away with that one. We'll see. Meanwhile, Scarenzi side by side with Finley. Look, here comes the McLaren driver. They're drag racing right down. There's no ERS on either of those cars, but Finley not really got anywhere to go. That AlphaTauri kind of getting in the way as they go through, but the McLaren, it doesn't deter him. He goes all the way around the outside into P5. Ahead of Scarenzi he goes. Those softer tyres working out for him, and in all honesty, Finley could be in for something here, but they've all got penalties in that top 5, all 3 seconds, so they're all effectively racing each other. And if Scarenzi can kind of latch onto the back of them and drag his way in as Finley down the inside of Ferratura, nice job, does a great job to leave him the room, and he slips up the inside of the AlphaTauri. What a fantastic bit of racing that was. Not easy to pull a move off through the horseshoe, but done it has. Finley is a man on a mission, trying to claw his way back onto that podium. He was 7/10 slower through Sector 2 on this lap, but he's not slowing down at all. He is speeding his way towards the drivers in front of him. It will be Lawrence next on his hit list as he's trying to chase him down. Lawrence, in the meantime, is sticking to the back of Jordan Lancer. These soft tyres are going to start coming to the end of their life. Finley, nice and score. Always race so clean. They do. They do. APPF1 and all of our drivers here always race clean. That is what we're about. We're about clean, fun racing. That is what we promote at APPF1, and that is what we always try to strive towards and show. MCL looking for a move on Robert, the new driver, who I must say has had a great recovery after that crash during the sprint race. He's in the top 10 at the moment. Under pressure from MCL, trying to fight with Paul Chuckle there in the Haas car. Not able to make up any ground, but able to defend his position. I don't agree, but those three I always race clean. You don't agree. Well, let's agree to disagree, shall we? You can't let a few bad apples ruin the basket, or whatever the saying is. As Jordan and Lawrence go through, a big part of motor racing, of course, are incidents. They do happen. You can't overlook that. It will always be a slight stain on motor racing. But all of our drivers, I can promise, are cleaner than any drivers you'll find out there in the wild. Go to some online lobbies, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That's Ghost making more moves up the inside. Here's one clean driver here, Ellie. I can name a good few clean drivers on this grid. It's just a few that seem to be incident magnets. Let's see, JB, Mania there, clean driver. Jacko, clean driver. Chris, clean driver. Ghost, clean driver. NX, relatively clean driver. Scarenzi, very clean. Finley. Lawrence, clean driver. There's a lot through here. Speaking of Lawrence, he's been overtaken. Jordan Lancer getting the best of him as we go. This rain's not coming, I can guarantee it. And if it is, it's going to be after the race is over. Robert under pressure from Ghost. Not got a lot of ERS at his disposal, but it's not going to bother the 6-time sprint champion. He's going down the inside. Let's see, down the inside, maybe no, but down the inside for Robert. A decent move on Paul Chuckle there. I'll read your comment in a moment, Ellie, if I can. But Lawrence and Finley have swapped places. Finley now in the mix. He's chasing after P2. He's going to go after Jordan Lancer and maybe after Lifeboat if he can. But he's got a big gap between them. As we go through, Robert, Chuck, Ghost, all very close together here as well. There's been some fantastic racing on offer this evening. I know what you're talking about, but for League, there's a couple that should maybe go back to the open lobbies. Ghost for sure is very clean and a good driver as well. I don't know. Maybe I think overall, there's a lot of the drivers are clean. I mean, like I say, as Jordan Lancer is overtaken now as well by Finley. I mean, I'm a league manager, so I may be biased, but you know, we don't tolerate nonsense here. We steward for a reason. No change in this battle here, but Ghost is all over the back. MCL's right here too. I'll try and engage in this conversation, but there's so much going on. There's a big fight here, and Finley once again after Jordan Larson through Ferradura. They go side by side, maybe a little bit of a touch as they go up the hill, but hard racing between the two of them. Finley back ahead of Jordan Lancer and back into P2. Overall, very good league for sure. Thank you. Yes, we are. We do try our very best. And yeah, sure, I'll say there are a few drivers who maybe get themselves caught up in incidents, maybe take chatter in the Discord a little bit too far. But it's all part of the sport. It's all part of the competition here. And, you know, I've definitely seen some leagues where the driving standards have left a lot to the imagination. And that's not what we're about here at APPF1. And yeah, there'll be some questionable decisions as Jacko gets a time penalty for corner cutting. Naughty Jackalacko. Not a clean driver now as he goes through. But that's why we steward. As MCL and Ghost side by side through turn 1 down the centre S as they go. MCL sticking it in there, a little bit of touching between the two of them as they go through. MCL though gets the inside line. Ghost just tucks in behind him and down towards turn 4 they go. But Ghost down a place. This was not the race he imagined during the podcast. And look, people, the rain has potentially cometh. It is clouded over here at Interlagos, but we are on lap 32 of 36. This rain's not going to play a factor. I knew it. If it is, it will start raining on maybe lap 34, but there'll be no need for tyres. No need for wet tyres for 2 laps of spitting. Meanwhile, Finley into P2. He's opened up the gap to Jordan Lancer, but it's a 6.9 second gap for the lead of the race here. Lifeboat has recovered well from the tribulations of the safety car. Is it raining? It's raining. The rain is here. Lap 33 of 36. The rain is finally here. Is anybody going to risk it? RJ is. He's in the pits. Is he making the call for inters? Could it be an ace in the hole? Could it be a blinder of a move to go on to them now? I mean, he's in no man's land, really, so I don't think so. But we'll see. Speeding in the pit lane. Jacko's in too. Are they all going to start diving in? Is it actually going to play a factor? Is this going to be a race decided in who pits and who pits when? The two Williams cars are in. Is Lifeboat in? No. Stays out. Could that end in tears? How about Finley? Next driver to go past the pit lane. No. Stays out. Jordan Lancer stays out. Lawrence into the pits. Nice job staying out. Scorenzi stays out. MX stays out as well. How about Red Flame Joe? He's coming up to the pit lane as well. He's coming in. Robert into the pits. As is Paul, Chuckle, MCO and Ghost all in. Ghost just keeping it out of the wall there. Oh, the rain comes in right at the very end, the dying stages of the race, to cause some chaos. Let's see who is going to be a winner here. Look at Lawrence. 14.7, 14.6. He's closing and closing in. Gap to leader. Let's see. Quick. 30.2. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe back into P3 for Lawrence. This is certainly shaking it up. Lifeboat stays out. Stays out of the pit lane. He's not under threat. All he's got to do is bring it home. Take it easy. Finley stays out. Jordan Lancer stays out as well. I'm not sure. The top six have all stayed out. They're going to be chased down by those on the wet tyres. But they're going to have to take it really, really easy. As there's Lawrence, that's a nice job. They're all struggling in these slippery conditions. They're all so close together. MX, Scorenzi, nice job. There's a lapped car in there as well. They're all so close. MX into P4. He's going to be picking up some good points from McLaren in this constructors battle here as well. It's all kicking off in these final few laps. Meanwhile, Red Flame Joe, MCL side by side down through the center S as they go. The Alfa Romeo looking to the inside, gets the job done, sticks it in there as MCL has to settle in behind, but looks to go around the outside once more through turn 4. It's not going to go for MCL. The Spanish driver has to tuck back in. Meanwhile, Scorenzi trying to take it easy with the rest of the dry runners still. Nice jobs, tyres. 17 lap old softs. That's got to be puncture territory right there. That would be really ruin his race. One more lap to go for Lifeboat. Lawrence, here he is. He's going to make short work of these three. Getting himself way back up there. He's got that time penalty to contend with, though. On the grass a little bit, but doesn't deter him. Gets past all three of them. On those intermediate tyres he goes. Can he close in on Jordan Lancer for the podium? Can he get after any of them? I'm not sure the gap is big enough. Mania out of the session. Retires in the pit lane by the looks of things. This rain is... I mean, it was definitely the better decision to stop, but Lawrence, the big winner here, as he's going to be making up places. Let's put the penalty information up on the board. 8 seconds though for Lawrence, 6 for Jordan Lancer, so it's not really going to be much for the Alpha Tauri to gain here. Lifeboat's round, he's off the track! Oh, and that puts Finley even closer, maybe. No, Finley might have made an error too. Lifeboat had a moment. He was going slowly, but it's not changed much. Oh, he's really struggling. He's only got one more corner to navigate, and then it's through this straight, well, not quite straight, but flat out section in the dry. Can he keep it on the track? Can he keep it going to seal this win here in Brazil? Lawrence into P3 now, but the penalty situation will change that. But Lifebout wins under wet conditions on those mediums. And then Finley comes home in P2 with Lawrence just about missing out on the podium there. Keeps P4 though. Here's Scarenzi on the hards. Keeps it. P4 for Lawrence. What a job. He definitely made the right decision with those inters. Big winner. But Lifebound, Finley, Jordan, they just had such a gap that it didn't matter all too much what they decided to do. Big loser today, ETA Chris. Ghost as well. Mistakes were made from some of the top drivers here in Tier 1. And Jack Alacco with the last driver to score a point. Sweet Ross is not going to score a point. 21 seconds of time penalties for the Scotsman. A race to forget perhaps here at Brazil. Not a good race for Jack Alacco. Sweet Ross, the last driver to come across the line. Well, I should have believed in the rain. It did come. It did come right at the end of the race, though. Didn't have the biggest of impacts, and it made the strategy all that more interesting, didn't it? It played a factor for sure. As we go, I'm going to let the drivers know there are interviews, so we're going to do those. Oh dear. It's kicking off in the chat. Finley. Lawrence. Oh dear. There's been a lot going on. Well then, let's run you through the results then this evening. It is Lifebout, your winner this evening, with Finley on the podium and Jordan Lancer flanking him as well. Then there's Lawrence P4 after an impressive drive after calling it for the inters. And then Scarenzi, MX, nice job. RTG, Chuck, Robert, MCL, ETA, Chris, Ghost, RJ Blair, Jack Alacco, Sui Ross, Red Flame, Joe, with Mania not finishing the race, but classified, and RTG, Chuckle, or Barry Chuckle, P18. Right, let's get some drivers in for some interviews. Let's create a party. Oh wait, all I need to do actually is go here. No, there we go, view group. And then create a party in the group as well, and it should invite people into it. Right, we'll wait for the drivers to come in. There's been a lot of angry drivers. Let's see. Let's have a look through. I think I think Barry Chuckle's too happy. waiting. Have we got drivers in the party, perhaps? No, I don't think anybody's joining for an interview. I think they abandoned me. Let's see, I'll try and chase them up. Let me see, let me try and invite them maybe. I don't know if they got the invite. I don't know about Joe Lancer. I can definitely get Lifeboat and Finley, perhaps. Ah, they can't. That's a shame. How about Joe Lancer? Just wait as he's typing. Ah, there you go. Okay, so we're not going to get our top three, sadly. But I'm sure what they would have said is something along the lines of it was a crazy race. The rain really threw in a lot of drama there at the end and really threw a lot of unpredictability in the strategy, especially with the complete mix-up we had of the tyres. But overall, fantastic race. We were happy to be on the podium, this, that and the other. And, wow, yeah, what a race we witnessed there. Great sprint racing. There's some great action as well. I'm sure it's going to be very, very busy in the stewards room this evening. But that's sometimes the nature of sprint races and racing. But anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you have all enjoyed, despite the lack of interviews this evening. Do tune in again the same time next week. Of course, we have sprint races happening in all of the divisions of APPF1. Sunday will be Elite, of course, and then on Tuesday, Tier 2. You might see myself out on the grid there as well. But thank you all so very much for watching. I'm going to go and rest up a little bit before well, I think Ghost might be there. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with ESRL, so I may be there, maybe not. If not, I'll see you all next time for some more APPF1 F1. Right, thank you folks, good night.